Hi, I'm Steve at Boston Children's Museum. Every year we host musicians from New England Philharmonic to put together a concert series called Meet the Instruments. This year, they've kindly made a series of videos to help us learn about the different musical instruments that make up an orchestra and how they all make music together. You can learn more about the New England Philharmonic and get involved by clicking the link in the description. This is the fourth and final video in their series with us where we meet the Woodwind family. I hope you enjoy it.
My name is Michael, and I'm excited to be part of the Boston Children's Museum Meet the Instruments of the Orchestra. I play the flute. It's a woodwind instrument. The other woodwind instruments in the orchestra are the oboe, the clarinet, and the bassoon. The woodwind instruments often play in a woodwind quintet with the French horn, a brass wind instrument. I have two kinds of flutes here, a concert flute made out of metal, and a piccolo, which is much smaller. The big instrument makes a lower sound, bigger or longer is lower, and the short piccolo, made out of wood, makes a higher sound. I'm going to play the same thing on both, and hopefully you can hear the difference. And on the smaller piccolo, higher. The flute can make lots of different sounds. It can sound like a gusty wind. Or like a train chugging along in a cartoon. It can sound like a bird, like in Peter and the Wolf. It can also play beautiful melodies and very fast, watery sounds. This is from Cécile Chaminade's Concerto for Flute. I hope you enjoyed listening to the flute. Remember to keep checking Boston Children's Museum's Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram pages for more fun videos. Thanks for watching.
So, hi, my name is Tammy Gibson, and I'm the principal clarinet player from New England Philharmonic, and today I really want to share with you clarinet and what I think is fantastic about it. So I just played for you the very opening of the clarinet portion of the Mozart Clarinet Concerto. It's the most famous thing ever written for clarinet. And it's used in movies quite a lot, which is why I played it for you. It's used in a lot of British movies, a lot of other movies. And the reason people play it is because it's peaceful and soulful. There's a lot of people who will actually use the orchestra part instead of the clarinet part, which I think is fantastic. But it's beautiful, and that's why I wanted to share it with you. And what I like about clarinet is that it is it's a beautiful instrument. You can make it sound like a lot of different things, and it's got an interesting history. So the reason this is a woodwind instrument, part of Listen to the Woodwinds, is it's played with air, with wind, and it's a single reed instrument. So we play with reeds. Sometimes we hate playing with reeds. They look like this. We do a lot to make our reeds play better. And smaller woodwinds play with smaller reeds, and bigger woodwinds play with bigger reeds, and we fuss with them quite a lot. And bigger woodwinds play lower tones, like you just heard, and smaller woodwinds play higher tones. So this is my favorite. This is an E-flat clarinet or piccolo clarinet, and it plays very special music in the orchestra. It plays along with the trumpet a lot, with the piccolo a lot, and I love playing E-flat clarinet. And luckily our composers at New England Philharmonic will write a lot of fun music for me with E-flat clarinet in the principal part, and I love it. Also, people who play clarinet in the orchestra usually have an A and a B flat, and they're very close in size. They're just a half tone apart. So we get to play a lot of complicated music because these are only a half tone apart. So it helps us to simplify the music. Now, where clarinet came from, I don't know if any of you are in elementary school, but you may have played something that looks like this. It's a recorder. And the first clarinet was actually something that looked very much like this, just with a couple of keys instead of just holes. So it was called a chalumeau, and with just a couple of keys, they were able to create the first clarinet. So now we have 13 keys. It looks like a lot more, but it's because some of these keys are really doubled. But it started with an instrument like this, so I think if you can play the recorder, then when you're allowed, you can play the clarinet too. So another song that I really like, that I don't know if you've heard the movie Yesterday, which is about Beatles music. There was a Beatles song that used a lot of clarinet, and I want to share that tune with you also. So that's When I'm 64, big song for clarinet players of the 20th century. And hopefully we'll all get to see each other next year, not when we're 64.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Balfbecker and I play the oboe with the New England Philharmonic. The oboe is a member of the Woodwind family, along with the flute, the clarinet, and the oboe's distant cousin, the bassoon. Now the bassoon and the oboe don't really look a whole lot alike, but they share one thing in common. They are both double reed instruments, and I'll talk about that in a second. The oboe is made out of wood, has silver keys, and as I just mentioned, has a reed that sits at the top. Now reeds are very important to oboists. We make a lot of reeds. We spend a lot of time fixing the reeds we have so we can get the best sound out of our instrument that we possibly can. The reed is made up of two very thin pieces of cane tied together with a little string and sits on what's called a staple, which is a metal tube with a little bit of cork around the bottom. There's a really tiny little hole in between the two pieces of cane that when I blow through it, makes the cane vibrate together and create a sound. Sounds a little squeaky, maybe like a duck. That sound actually has a name. It's called a crow. I think you could probably figure out why. When I put the reed in my instrument, it makes a different sound. Now the oboe is very important in the orchestra. We are responsible for tuning the orchestra before every concert. If you get a chance to go to a live orchestra concert, and hopefully we will all be able to do that very soon, you'll hear the oboe playing a single tuning note at the beginning of the concert. And then you'll hear the whole orchestra joining together playing the exact same note. We all do this to tune the orchestra before the concert starts. It gets us to come together as a group and be ready to play a beautiful concert. Now I'm going to demonstrate the oboe for you by playing a little part of one of my favorite oboe pieces, Richard Strauss's Oboe Concerto. Now this piece is meant to be played with a full orchestra standing behind me, but it's just me here, so you'll hear just the oboe part. And that's the oboe. Thanks for letting me share.
Hello, my name is Frank Casados. I'd like to introduce you to the two lowest instruments of the woodwind family, the bassoon and the contrabassoon. Now, in order to get these to speak, we need to have what's called reeds. This is the bassoon reed. This is the contrabassoon reed. So, small difference as you can see. Now, behind me, you might actually see a whole bunch of other reeds. I make those myself, as do most all bassoonists. So, the bassoon, it's a low instrument, but it's actually pretty small. Starts here with the reed, comes up this little metal pipe, comes down, 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 curves back up, 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 and away. So the bassoon, without the reed, makes this kind of a sound. It doesn't make a sound. You need to have this little guy here to make all of that make a sound. The contrabassoon is the same way. It needs the reed. So you have the reed, comes up the metal, and this one's really big. It's twice the size of the regular bassoon. So it goes up here, comes down this metal pipe, all the way here, woo, curves around. Here's the metal pipe again, comes up, 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 up. Can't even get it all in the camera. Curves around, comes back down here, and the contrabassoon actually sits on the floor. So if you follow this pipe, keep following all the way down, it actually has an end pin like a double bass or a cello. Curves around, comes all the way back up, 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 right over here, curves around one last time, and the sound actually goes down to the ground. So the sound of the contrabassoon is really low. For any of you who play piano, this will play the low, low, low B flat way down on the very edge of the piano. low, right? So what I'd like to do today is play for you the same song on the bassoon and the contrabassoon. So here's the bassoon first. Messed up that last note. Whoops. So some of you might recognize that as Baby Shark. I like to think about that as Papa Shark on the bassoon. And then to meet Grandpa Shark on the contrabassoon. So we have the bassoon and we have the contrabassoon. These are, again, the two lowest woodwinds, and they're using reeds that the bassoon player tends to make him or herself. I look forward to seeing you at a concert one day, and thanks for visiting. Have a wonderful day.